All right, welcome back, guys. This week's Metacycle is going to be Diva Hero Beat. Let's go ahead and get into the list.
All right, so as always, the list starts with 1 Stratos and 3 Neos Alias, kind of the lifeblood of any hero anti-meta-y deck. We got Elemental Hero Ocean. He's kind of bad. If you can protect him, he'll get your Stratos back, but really he's just there as an extra water for Ab-Zero. We got your 3 Divas and your 2 Gilmans. I noticed the trend that people are running more Gilman lately. Gilman is such a bad draw, and that's why you kind of have to run 2 of it. I think I would be surprised if going forward Titanial decks weren't running 2 Titanial for this exact same reason. Because we're kind of anti-meta, it's hard to get over some stuff. We got Honest. Then we got the tech cards of DD Warrior Lady and Cyber Dragon. I think a lot of decks are running either 2 Cyber Dragon or 2 DD Warrior Lady, or they're siding one and the other. I think it's just a good bet to kind of hedge your bets on both. And then Gores, despite the fact that we run stuff like Future Fusion and a bunch of traps, it's just one of your really high attack monsters that you can get out fairly easily, and it allows you to like not get OTK'd. So we got Future Fusion. Obviously we're playing Neos Alias, so we got the 3 Sparks. We got your Searchers and Rhoda and 2 E-Call. We got your big Absolute Zero play with Miracle Fusion. We got the obvious MST and Heavy Storm, and then as opposed to another D-Prison or another just extra, tech card, I think a 1-of Book of Moon is pretty good. It lets you like reset some effects. It lets you play around a lot of monsters that like you wouldn't be able to deal with otherwise, and a lot of times Neos Alias is big enough to kill like a Dark Armed in defense or something. We got Torrential, Mirror, Solemn, the obvious cards. We got our 2 Bottomless. We run 3 D-Prison. Because we can't run a 4th D-Prison, we run a Compulse. Compulse is just such a nice out to a lot of cards that you can't normally deal with. Stuff like Brionic that are going to like minus them if they use it on Compulse. Stuff like Ab-Zero, which is really hard to out in mirror matches. We got Road. We run a lot of back row, and obviously opposing Absolute Zeros can be a pain. And then we run our 2 Hero Blasts. You can get your Neos Alias back. All right, moving into our extra deck, we have the obvious 3 Absolute Zero. I do run the 1 Gaia. It doesn't really come up, and I haven't really used it at all yet, but it just seems like as soon as I take it out, it's gonna come up, Because we main deck the Cyber Dragon, you gotta run the Chimera Tech Fortress. Then our kind of standard synchros, some of which you can make and some of which you can't. We got Armory Arm, Catastor, Android, Brio, Goyo, Black Rose. 1 Stardust. I wish I could fit a second one in here somehow, but there's just so many situations where other things can come up. Diva being a 2-star, being able to make Armory Arm if you like, take a Plague take a Raikou or something like that, just can come up so often that it's probably not worth the 2nd Stardust just for other things. We got Darkened, Thought Ruler, Colossal. And lastly, we'll get into our side deck. So Super Alloy Beast Raptinus, we side Super Polys. And so because we side Super Polys, you kind of have to run the Raptinus so that you can like Super Poly their 2 Gemini guys and kind of make the field. We got a couple of 1-ofs, Fossil Dyna and DD Crow and Thunder King. These are all cards that are situationally good. It's probably not worth it to run multiples. Like I might run possibly another Fossil Dyna, but these other 2 cards, I just don't think that they're good often enough to matter. We got the 2 Snowman Eaters. These come up in a lot of different matchups. Pretty good. I'm playing Captain Gold and Skyscraper. So I'm playing these because the deck has a lot of problems outside of Honest, being able to get over high attack monsters. If your opponent gets out, sometimes even a Stardust, it's really hard to out it, right? So Captain Gold is searchable via E-Call and Rhoda and Stratos. So you have easy access to Skyscraper. Skyscraper can also do some weird things, like you can do some weird chain shenanigans by making Gear Town mistiming. You can also do some interesting things, even in like the Monarch matchup, right? If you play Skyscraper, it means that they have to waste like a Caius or a Ryza on the Skyscraper, otherwise you're just gonna like Neos Alias over their guy. Soul Release instead of the other DD Crow. There's just a lot of matchups like hero matchups where you just need to get rid of more than 1 monster at a time, and sometimes the fast speed of DD Crow is just not enough. I'm also running Skill Drain. Skill Drain, it seems like it pairs really well with the deck. Obviously, back in the day, it used to be an anti-meta deck, and so having the Gem Sparks and the 1900 guys are kind of big enough with Skill Drain. Not to mention it pairs pretty well with stuff like Captain Gold. And then lastly, in case that's not enough, we have Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Vayu is real. There are a lot of other decks like Diva Hero that is real that you have to be able to stop, because in some matchups, 1900 is like just not enough.
All right, guys, so that's been Diva Hero Beat. Not exactly the most fun deck to play, probably not high on my decks that I'm planning on returning to. There's some more fun hero decks and Ab-Zero decks and whatever in the pipeline, but I'll see you guys next time.